Nathan Reynolds and Matt Schlosser. We are underway at Iowa.
Lots of 2x2 throughout the field to start out here. First big battles between Garrett Rainey and Andy Poliski.
Three wide. That's Jan Van Leer on the bottom, Peterson in the middle, and Gunter gets a 2-for-1 up top.
Ooh, and a little bit of contact there between Jan Van Leer and Peterson.
It's now all the way back to 14th after that.
There's contact. Peterson and Oz Kennard, they're going to go to the infield.
Big problems for those two, and they are parked there on the pavement underneath the grass. We are still green. Synchronized, getting into line. Oh, bumping all the way up, and it continues all the way up the chain. More problems behind.
Lots of drivers piling in.
Wow. Safe hands award on that one goes to Austin Holyfield, who's going to break the chain and actually come to a complete stop.
Goes to cover up the spot. Roman has to let off the gas or maybe even get on the brakes. Jan Van Leer gets into the back of him. Causes Roman to get into the back of Palawota. Rainey, not much time to react. He's going to get into the back of Jan Van Leer, and we are just playing bumper cars. You mentioned Gainey there in the 22. That's the big shot.
Here comes Nathan Reynolds. So this should give this gives the lead now to Andy Poliski. Oh, trouble! Caution is out. Interesting place for this caution to come out. Half the field is going to be trapped a lap down, including some heavy hitters.
Gunter is here. Gonna look underneath the 00. It'll be an easy pass to the lead for Brody Gunter.
Brody Gunter up front. While all the chaos and carnage happening behind him, Brody Gunter separated himself from the field. And Brody Gunter is the first driver to 3 wins here this season in the Venom Truck Series. They say there's a first time for everything, but when you've been around for 7 seasons, firsts are hard to come by. But here in season number 7 of the Venom Truck Series, it is the first trip to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for 195 kilometers, 30 laps around the big 4-miler. It's the Brought Not Bought outside of Wisconsin 195 presented by Quick Trip and the local 200 Teamsters Union. And it is around the turn with Venom Truck Series action here on Turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
No, I've been here a while. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how was your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. Welcome to Wisconsin, race fans. Welcome back to Turn 200. My name is Tommy Cook. We've got the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, alongside here for the Brought Not Bought Outside of Wisconsin 195, presented by Quick Trip and the local Teamsters 200 Union. Yep, that's the name of the game here tonight. Yes, definitely a bit of a mouthful. But it's the first trip for the Venom Truck Series to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It's a track that we're at least a little bit familiar with. We've had one trip to Road America here on the channel before with the Mission R Challenge. A little bit of a different ball game here tonight, though.
Yeah, most certainly different ball game. I mean, this is a car track combo that there's not even an iRacing set for, so it's a I don't even know if it's a modified set. It's a set from a different track, and it's a very long road course. I mean, this is one of those things where if you don't put enough preparation time in, you are just setting yourself up for complete destruction come race time, because there are a lot of turns and a lot of tricky turns around this racetrack.
Well, why don't we give the folks a lay of the land here, hopefully. Nathan Reynolds, I think, is coming to put his first lap in the books. Hopefully he'll grace us with a second lap. We can ride on board. If he does decide to go 2 rounds here at Road America, his first lap is a 2:21.342. That is definitely well off the pace set by Brody Gunter. But maybe this will be the lap. As I say that, he got awfully familiar there with the inside of that curve in the right-hander, so hopefully he'll be able to post the lap here. We're through turn 2 now, long straight. To get to about the halfway mark, we're going to be starting to head down the hill, one of the most treacherous braking zones of any NASCAR circuit in recent memory.
Yeah,
Speeds at 165 miles an hour solo into this braking zone.
Yeah, lots of big braking zones. There's 3 pretty distinct ones here throughout the course, but also sets up passing opportunities. And then when you get to these few turns on the track, you can slide very easily.
That right-hander there is one of my least favorite turns in all of sim racing. Not because of the turn itself, but because of my lack of ability. Provisional pole right now is Brody Gunter, 2:14.080, and he is over a second quicker than Matt Schlosser in P2. See if Reynolds has got anything here. 4 miles in length, only 14 turns. Reynolds sending it around here.
This is one of the big opportunities to pass right here.
Canada corner. in the final turn. And then back up the big hill, even looking at it from the kick pod cam here, having driven past this track, it does not do it justice. The sim does not. That is a huge, steep elevation climb. And that lap is good enough for P3 for Nathan Reynolds. 2:15.501. Brody Gunter went slower on his second lap, so 2:14.080. That one is going to be tough to beat here. And speaking of Brody Gunter and Nathan Reynolds, as qualifying is drawing to a close here, we'll still have warm-up left to do for these drivers. But Brody Gunter, with his third win of the season, drew in just a little bit on Nathan Reynolds in the points standings. We can take a look at that. Only a few rounds to go, though. Nathan Reynolds still with a pretty comfortable lead.
Yeah, coming in here to Road America, Nathan Reynolds, obviously still leading the points. Brody Gunter starting to close that gap, like you said, a little bit. 63 points behind for Gunter. Andy Poliski sits there in third. Nathan Palawoda, Luke Peterson. Luke Peterson's had a really great season for him, a top 5 championship run, and definitely room to get a couple more in these last few weeks. So Peterson looking to really have a great season. John Kay, who was in the contention for the championship last season, is there in 6th. Jan Van Leer 7th. Then Tyler Logan, Matt Schlosser, and Steve Vroman round out the top 10.
Right there with about 20 seconds left to go in qualifying, Andy Poliski jumped up to second quick on the speed charts. Still, Brody Gunter, the only driver to break into the 2:14s, but we got to talk to Andy for only the second time this season last week after Iowa, and said he's, of course, we always pick him out as one of the favorites here for the road courses, but he says he was looking forward to tonight, thinks that he's got a shot at it. Who else do we think, other than, I guess, maybe the obvious choice of Brody Gunter? Who else are you keeping your eyes on here?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Poliski has been really solid on road courses. We saw really great runs from Poliski at Watkins Glen earlier this season as well. I know that Matt Schlosser, he actually won that race. His first win in the Venom Truck Series came on a road course, so I'm sure Matt Schlosser is really looking forward to this one as well, and should be, I think, starting second here. So he set himself up for a good night, at least, and now he's hoping that nobody ruins it down into turn 1. That first turn here with trucks that don't want to slow down is going to be very treacherous.
And we can see a big, long train here at work. Brody Gunter leading. Odds Kanar, Nathan Palawoda, and I believe Steve Vroman behind them. You were mentioning Matt Schlosser getting his first win and just his second career start at Watkins Glen earlier this season. Brody Gunter had that race well in hand. Got tangled up with a lap car, and it took him out of the race from the lead with just a handful of laps to go. So he wants to right that wrong here tonight and take what would be a series-leading 4th victory of the season. Hey, Stickers McQueen is in the chat, cheering on Rodney Matney, and you know what? By God, Rodney Matney is actually here tonight.
He's back.
Rodney Matney is back, and he's not only back, but he's back to his usual ways, because he's going to start this race where he finished a majority of the races last season inside the top 10. Rodney Matney inside of row number 5 was where he's going to take the green here tonight. So excited to see Rodney back in action.
Got some wonderful folks rocking the car inside camera for us here tonight. One of them is Eric Breeding, and Breeding with a very special paint scheme for this race in particular. That is one, as he gets out into the grass, that is one Kyle Zittel plastered all over this truck. And it's a little bit difficult to see what the hood says there, but of course Quick Trip has to be on there as well. There's some good spots, that rear quarter on both sides. That's a camera we love to use, and he's got Kyle Zittel's mug right there for us.
I'll tell you this much, Eric Breeding, I'm thinking he's starting in 14th. But the last 3 road course races in a row in Venom Truck Series competition, he's finished exactly 5th place in all 3 of them. So Eric Breeding might be a guy to watch here early in the going, having to make his way up through the field. As will be Tyler Logan. He looked awfully sporty at Watkins Glen earlier this season. He missed last week at Iowa. He went from 3rd all the way down to 8th in the point standings just by taking his provisional last week. So Logan looking to get back on the right track here as the season drawing to a close. And we are here in Wisconsin. The aforementioned Kyle Zittel is rolling out on the track right now. He's a Wisconsin boy. So is Nathan Paluona, also a Wisconsin boy. So the home state drivers are rocking it out here for getting ready for 30 laps around Road America in just a few minutes. I think we're going to probably need to go in search of people here. What has happened, if anybody is curious, is we normally have a 5-minute warm-up period. I did not think to check the warm-up period before we went live. And it was 10 minutes tonight, not 5. So a little bit of extra time to kill tonight. And you know what? Here's good thinking. Maybe we could use a little bit of this time to promote the event that we've got on Saturday night. I don't know if you've got that handy still. If not, no worries. Entry list looking pretty good, to say the least, already for the Mission R Clash at the Coliseum on Saturday night. It'll be right here on Turn 200. NASCAR, of course, is rolling out their prototype for their all-electric vehicle at the Coliseum. They're going to debut it during practice on Saturday nights. So we are going to, in kind, run a Mission R, a Porsche Mission R race with the heat races and the feature formats on Saturday night. If you want to join us, it's free to enter. There's prize money for the top 3 finishers in the feature. Come join the fun. I believe Steve Roman is signed up. So we'll see Steve Roman at the Coliseum on Saturday night. We want to see you there too.
Yeah, and there is the poster put together for it. And yeah, it's going to be a wonderful event. Of course, running it because the NASCAR prototype all-electric vehicle will be making its on-track debut in a little demo. The folks at VRTL thought, why not put on our own all-electric demo at the Clash? So it's going to be a fun event. Looking forward to having PMR enthusiasts as well as just NASCAR and oval enthusiasts involved in the event. It should be a great one.
Absolutely. That's a big event that we have coming up. Of course, the Daredevil Series tomorrow night at Nashville Super Speedway. That'll be a good time. It'll be the debut of the series at Nashville Super Speedway. We will be using the F1 sprint racing formats with open qualifying and a short little dash race to open things up ahead of the big 70-lap feature race. And the other little wrinkle in that, we'll get a driver interview in right now because it's Matt Williamson. The Daredevil Series tomorrow night at the home track. How are we feeling?
The last time I ran with the good folks that typically hail the grounds in the Daredevil Series, I fared fairly well. I ran a recruitment race 2 seasons ago and ended up finishing 4th at Indianapolis. So, felt confident about that. I have not been able to run in a pack with anybody around Nashville Super Speedway in the car, so it's one thing to try to run quali laps and completely other to actually go run laps with 20 plus around you. So I'm looking to take it easy to begin with, but I'm also looking to get after it after I get comfortable.
And if Kyle Zittel happens to be listening, yes, you can go ahead and advance whenever you want if you're waiting on us. And he just did it. Perfect. All right, so we're going to move things right along here and get to the starting grid for the first ever time in Venom Truck Series history. It is Road America. 4 miles, 14 turns, and we've got 30 laps of it here tonight. 195 kilometers. And Brody Gunter will take the pole position here at Road America for his second pole of the season, second pole of his career, looking for win number 4. Andy Poliski a road course winner in his career 3 times with the Venom Truck Series. The Season 5 champion lines up in second. Match lost for the most recent road course winner in VTS competition, last time at Watkins Glen Boot. He will line up in third, with Nathan Reynolds to his outside, twice a road course winner in series history. The first driver to not win a road course race on the starting grid here is Nathan Paluota, starting in P5. Chad Stearns has looked pretty good on some of the road course races as well, but has not got the finishers to go with it. So Stearns looking for a good finish here tonight with a P6 starting position. Row number 4 on the inside is John Kay, and John Kay has won at Watkins Glen before. He will start in 7th, lining up to his outside. In P8 will be Luke Peterson, who got his best career road course finish at the Boot at the Glen last time out. Rodney Matney is back for the first time in season number 7. Best career road course finish of him for 10th for him at Canadian Tire last season. And speaking of 10th, it's Jan Van Leer rounding out the top 10 starters, twice a podium finisher in road course series competition. Oz Kadar and the Wisconsinite Kyle Zittel on run number 6. Tyler Logan back in the field. He starts in 13th with Eric Breeding. Some work to do for him, but historically a very good road course racer here in VTS. Paul Ellison is a road course winner in Venom Truck Series competition. He will line up next to Pascal Simard, who's back in P16. Steve Roman and Garrett Rainey on row number 9, and Austin Holyfield and Michael Dean will round out your top 20. Corey Rutherford, another one to look for on the road courses. He's back in P21. The 22 will start in 22. Brantley Gainey on the outside of row number 11. Tyler Berger, Ryan Borboom, and Cole Maxwell make up your 25 truck field here tonight. So notable absentees. Ryan Dye is not here. Jeremy McKinnon is not here. So the numbers game for Broke Guy Racing not working in their favor in the hunt for the team championship. That is the starting grid. Matt Williamson, we still got about half a lap to go here before we bring these guys to life. Some track conditions, some strategy notes ahead of tonight's race.
Yeah, we'll look at the track conditions. Currently 86 degrees on the track temperature, which is very good for these drivers. Hopefully won't get those tires heated up too badly. Of course, slipping and sliding around is going to happen here in the trucks, so drivers are going to have to try and manage that as best as they can. As far as the fuel window goes, we got 30 laps here tonight. I'm guessing everybody's just going to try to split this thing in half. Maybe if you light them up a little bit too hard in the beginning, trying to race some folks when there's people around you at the beginning of the race, you might come in a lap or two earlier on the front end and undercut it, but I don't think we're going to see too much variation as far as that goes. No fast repairs and 3 extra sets of tires, as always.
As always.
Except for the endurance race.
Yeah, well.
But we're past that already, so here we are.
Lovely. Having to play with the camera settings for me a bit. Because as lovely as this track looks from the track itself, when you're looking over top of it, it looks really hollow in the middle, and the trees are not very transparent. So, just broadcaster problems.
Should also mention Brody Gunter maybe still looking at road course redemption here. That Watkins Glen blink out, very well documented at this point. So Gunter looking to be the class of the field tonight. Looked like in practice that was absolutely the case. But of course, you put some folks around you that want to get to your back bumper. Things can change in a hurry.
Brody Gunter 0 for 2 in his road course career from the lead. Things happening, but those both happened at Watkins Glen. Tonight, he needs a win to stay in the championship hunt, even at this point of the season with multiple races to go. Will it be a good night for Gunter, or will somebody else steal the crown here? As the pace car is off and the drivers of the Venom Truck Series are headed up the hill for the first time at Road America. It's Gunter and Poliski. Let's go racing at Road America. Barreling down the long straight, getting ready for the big slowdown into turn number 1. Is everybody going to make it through the right-hander? Poliski wobbly, there goes Gunter off. Gunter is off and wide and dropping towards the back half of the top 10. Here's Schlosser underneath looking for the race lead. Poliski around the outside is going to prevail and clear. And he will have the lead now, headed down the Moraine sweep.
Here we come down to this downhill, hard braking zone. Maybe the toughest. Palawoda's out wide a bit. Reynolds going to look underneath.
Reynolds will take third as Palawoda was trying to take second away. Ronnie Matney under fire from Chad Stearns and the hard-charging Brody Gunter.
Yeah, those three nearly 3 wide through there. Obviously not enough room around this course to be doing that. But Gunter wants to push hard now after the mistake in the first turn.
Gunter past Matney, now underneath Stearns, who's going to lock it up. Matney will get back through on the 05. Nose to tail from third, fourth, and fifth. It's Reynolds, Palawoda, and John Kay, who has made it from 7th up to P5 here in the opening. Poliski with about a 3-truck length advantage over Matt Schlosser now as we head through the Kettle Bottoms in towards Canada Corner. Pretty trying to mine through Canada. Biggest gainer on the opening lap here I'm showing is Tyler Logan, who's up from 13th to 9th. But it may be only one spot, but it's got to feel huge for Andy Poliski to lead the opening circuit here over Matt Schlosser.
Yeah, big time. Poliski obviously very solid on road courses, but not having to chase anybody and being able to be out front, feel like you can kind of do your own thing, not worry about anybody else. That's a powerful feeling at a road course race. That's exactly what you want. It puts you in a good mindset to just put the laps down, and it helps you with your concentration.
It's head down and go to work time for Poliski up front, and the same can be said for Brody Gunter, who is 3 seconds behind the leader back in P6 with a lot of gap to make up here.
Yeah, Gunter working behind John Kay has been right on the bumper here through the last few corners.
Schlosser had a pretty big wiggle out of turn number 5. Reynolds has cut the gap down. Top 3 equidistant from one another. In and through the hurry downs, headed towards the carousel.
These things are looking fairly solid here right now. Only on lap 2, but after 2 or 3 more laps, you're going to see a lot more sliding, particularly through that section that they just went through. That left-hander and then the long sweeping right. Very easy to get on the throttle a little too hard.
One other driver we were hyping up in the intro was Eric Breeding. He started in 14th, dropped back to 18th, but is picked off 17th from Michael Dean. So he is trying to move back forward here.
Yeah, I saw Breeding. Breeding went wide down into the downhill braking zone for the left-hander. So lost a few positions there. Brody Gunter on the move has picked off John Kay and Nathan Palawoda here.
So that is Gunter up to 4th. Long way up now to Nathan Reynolds, though. Top 3 have left that group behind. Reynolds back in 3rd, purple lap of the race. So Reynolds trying to make a statement here. Remember, he finished 2nd at Watkins Glen with a broken brake pedal. Something more important is broken on Nathan Reynolds, seemingly at least. He's in a wrist cast for this race. I believe no bone damage, but has a pinched nerve. And they want him to limit his wrist movement. Not sure he's going to accomplish that here tonight, running as well as he is.
Wow, and we're on the car inside camera with Reynolds right now, and down into that braking zone, you could see the wheel just moving back and forth. Front end of the truck vibrating. And I'm not so sure he has a cast on, so he's taking that thing off, I think.
Well,
or a brace, I should say.
Hopefully his doctor isn't watching. Oh, closed right up there to the tailgate of Schlosser. And Brody Gunter has closed up that gap to Nathan Reynolds. Gunter is on the move. Still about a second behind, but it was much more than that at the start of this lap. So Gunter is hauling here.
And John Kay has pulled up to the back of Palawota as well.
And Rodney Matney right behind John Kay as well. He's in 7th. Stearns, Logan Peterson, the rest of the top 10. See Lindsey G in the chat. Brantley is back, I think, in 21st right now, but still a long way to go here. No surprise, Brody Gunter across the line, purple lap.
Yeah, certainly a long ways to go here. Not even close.
30 laps doesn't sound like a lot until you realize it's a 4-mile circuit.
When you're out there driving, it feels like it takes a long time to get around this course.
2-minute 14.857. That was Brody Gunter's last lap. Going to be a tough one to beat, too.
Here we see Jan Van Leer back in 13th, trying to work on the man that is bringing this race to you.
Gunter just had a huge lockup and almost piled into Nathan Reynolds. I mean, it was inches from disaster.
Go ahead and put the track map up here for everybody to take a look at. If you can read the numbers on the map, that is the position of the driver, not the car number. Whoa, Gunter off track a little bit there.
Yeah, he is working hard here. Indicated a corner, closes right back up to Reynolds. He's sending it way deeper into these braking zones.
John Kay thought about making a move to the inside of Palawota there through Canada Corner, but wasn't quite there. Had to take a shallow entry. And Chad Stearns is right behind Rodney Matney now as well. So this group starting to bunch up a little bit.
Seems like every race there's one group that likes to dance the entire race long. Might be Stearns and Matney this time around.
Well, Gunter and Reynolds have been dancing together for quite a while as well.
Reynolds has faded a bit from Matt Schlosser, but not anything too dramatic, just a truck length or two over the last couple of laps. Part of that probably is worrying a bit about what's in his rear view.
Certainly.
And also the injury doesn't help either.
We'll see if Gunter takes a stab at it. Into the downhill. Turn number 3. Oh, wow, sends it.
Kicks the back end of the truck out under braking.
Oh, no, Rodney Matney's around down there.
Oh, Matney. Into the runoff there and all the way around at turn number 5. We'll bring it back onto the track in 11th. but a crew pulling up right behind him, including Jan Van Leer and Steve Roman.
Yeah, after spinning, it's hard to get going, and you see it right there.
Yes. Pascal Simard also here on the scene.
Matty just trying to get his bearings, get those tires to start cooperating a little bit better, but it's going to take about a third or a half of this lap to get him back underneath. Seems to be doing okay now.
Brody Gunter going for a pass, indicating a corner. Trying to take third away, and it gets good drive off, and we'll be able to take that spot. Big lunge there, under braking. Next up, Matt Schlosser, who is pulled up to Andy Poliski himself. So catching Schlosser here will put Gunter back in the mix for the lead.
John Kay, Nathan Palawota side by side through the final turn and up through the uphill to the start-finish. Palawota starting to inch ahead, but John Cable had the inside position down here to turn one.
Kay gonna send it.
Oh, a bit of a slide for Kay. He's able to hang on to it.
Brody Gunter is off the track there into the sand in turn number one. So another problem under braking into turn number one for Gunter, and he is back now to 10th.
We have multiple things to look at now. And that one obviously a much bigger problem for Gunter. You mentioned it, back to 10th. Starting to work on Oskanar for 9th. But let's take a look. This is the first incident on the very first lap. Gunter just in a little too hot, slides it out to the grass. And then through the gravel. He's able to make it back on track, but loses a lot of positions. We saw he was able to make those back. And then just about a half a lap ago, this is Gunter into turn one again, and maybe downshifted while trying to turn. I'm not sure. Did a little slide job there and tried to hang on to it, but overcorrected off into the gravel once again. So Gunter up to 9th now, but he's been the class of the field as far as fastest lap time goes, but he has not been the class of the field limiting mistakes, particularly into that first turn.
Yeah, Gunter, the only driver in practice qualifying or the race thus far to be down into the 214s. And he was into the 214s in all three sessions.
Chad Stern starting to track down Nathan Palawota as well now. John Kay got through about a lap and a half ago. The distance between Schlosser and Poliski has been pretty much the same for the last maybe 3 laps. I mean, Schlosser's been hanging right there with Poliski through it all.
Yep, Schlosser's been inching his way towards the race leader. They've left Nathan Reynolds behind by about 2.5 seconds. So all eyes forward for driver number 40, looking for his second victory of the season. But got to pass one of the best to do it.
And we're going to go ahead and go on board with Schlosser. Going to the back half of the lap here, trying to run down Andy Poliski for the lead.
through the kettle bottoms. And heading towards Canada Corner. Schlosser going to roll out early. Maybe looking for a big run back to the throttle early. Poliski still with the advantage. Headed into 13. Don't think this is quite the situation we saw last night with the Super Formulas at Motegi. Not a lot of aero wash to work with, or to work against rather, in this truck. No reason to push the issue just yet for Matt Schlosser. But there will be a time.
No, just wants to run good laps here. See Poliski up there sliding the rear end of the truck around a little bit there through turn 1. I mean, that's going to happen all over this race course. But Schlosser seeming to do a little bit better job keeping it straight on the exit right now. May pay dividends later on.
Brody Gunter got past Luke Peterson for 8th. Now has 2 seconds up to Tyler Logan to challenge for 7th. Stearns and Paluota still pretty close together here for 5th and 6th. With Stearns trying to chase down the Wisconsin driver.
You mentioned Luke Peterson. Haven't talked about him too much tonight. Has just been quietly sitting here in the top 10. You mentioned a really good finish for him at Watkins Glen. He's running a car inside camera for us here tonight. And I do believe we have a link for a car inside breakdown here this week. So if you want to check that out after the race is over, that would be awesome.
Matt Schlosser again down to a truck length here. Headed around the kink and through the kettle bottoms. Schlosser seems to have Poliski's number through the carousel and the areas immediately surrounding it. Good drive off for Schlosser. May have an opportunity. Setting himself up either for 14 or 1. But Poliski, good drive off out of the final turn, and that may put a stop to this one. At least for now, lap number 9 is up on the board.
Chad Stearns getting ever closer to Nathan Paluota here.
About the closest other battle we've got on track is Kyle Zittel and Paul Ellison for 15th, and even they are separated by a couple of truck lengths here.
And Brody Gunter starting to reel in Tyler Logan here as well behind Stearns.
Congratulations, by the way, to Paul Ellison on his win on Sunday night. Beat the brakes off of both of us, with help from Kyle Zittel as well.
And Luke Peterson.
And Luke. Well, Luke tried to go for it at the end, so I'm not going to thank him.
That's a good point. They worked together the whole night, and then it was gloves off after turn 4.
For Luke. But congrats to all 3 of them. Yeah, probably. Schlosser again through the carousel. Right up to the tailgate here of Andy Poliski. Oh, and gets a good drive off, too. This may be the opportunity.
Yeah, this has been his best run yet. Wow, look at them both. Really sending it.
Schlosser hanging. He likes to roll out early into Canada Corner, and will do that again. Maybe trying to force a mistake here for Poliski. Poliski wide, opens the door. Schlosser not quite close enough to capitalize yet. Can he hang with him through 13?
with these two battling, Reynolds has started closing in just a tad. See him still lurking there in the background. Oh, a bit of a slip-up from Poliski there.
Schlosser will have that opportunity into one if he wants it. We'll have to push it maybe a little bit deeper than he's been pushing it. We'll see if he elects to do just that. Not this time.
Yeah, and I like the patience. Turn one, I mean, in all reality, is not the place to do it. It's not very wide. Even if you do get inside, the chances of taking both of you out is pretty high. I think there's definitely better opportunities. I mean, unless it's a clear cut, I am going to have the positioning. Trying to outbreak somebody into one is almost impossible.
And to your point about Nathan Reynolds, he was 0.8 of a second quicker. Or rather, 0.8 of a second. That's the right terminology there. 0.8 quicker this last time around than the top two.
And Reynolds maybe able to save tires a little bit better than these two, who have kind of been all over each other, pushing each other pretty hard. Of course, Reynolds had to deal with Brody Gunter for quite a while there as well. To mention, Gunter got around Tyler Logan a lap ago and has now pulled right up behind Stearns, who is still fairly close to Palawota as well.
Yeah, no surprise. Brody Gunter's still the fastest driver on track. By almost a second. 0.9 of a second. So Gunter is ripping it up.
Schlosser fakes a peek to the inside of Canada corner. Poliski does not bite.
Oh, Schlosser, great drive here. Eases it into the final turn, though, and loses the time gained. But Poliski knows he's right here. Reynolds lost a bit of time that time. Oh, and Reynolds, I think, went a bit wide there into the first turn. Going to lose a little bit of time, but it's still moving in the right direction. Gunter, Stearns, and Palawota. Not quite nose to tail, but pretty darn close here. Fifth, sixth, and seventh. Yeah.
Might as well be as big as this track is. This is what I would call nose to tail.
Gunter just sends it. I mean, he was 5 truck lengths deeper than Stearns there into the braking zone. That's just crazy.
All right, we're going to take a look at Schlosser and Poliski. I haven't really watched them through this section of the track in the last couple laps, and this is where Schlosser has been very good going around the carousel here.
Schlosser looking left into the carousel, maybe trying to get drive underneath off the carousel. But Poliski with his best carousel in the last few laps fends off Schlosser pretty well. Still getting some draft here through the kettle bottoms, headed towards Canada corner. This time Schlosser, even keel with Poliski into the braking zone, does not roll out early.
Got about 5 laps until we're at the halfway mark. I'm curious to see where Brody Gunter comes into pit. I would think he would try to undercut to make up a couple positions the easy way. Oh, he takes a dive to the inside of Stearns here.
Not going for the easy way into turn 14. Stearns going to get good drive off on the outside here. Worth a shot. No harm, no foul. This time,
And
anyway.
Stearns with a little bit of drafting help from Palawoda in front, able to keep that position. But that was pretty good send there from Gunter. But I mean, if Gunter can undercut by a lap or two, pass a couple of trucks on pit strategy, we know he's fast. I mean, if he's got some open track in front of him after the pit stop, he's going to be sitting pretty good as long as he doesn't make another mistake.
Again, you mentioned Gunter a bit hung up, trying to get past Chad Stearns right now, but John Kay is the fastest driver on track right now in P4.
Yeah, and John, I don't know why, but I feel like we never really think of him as being one of the the top 5 road course drivers, but I mean, statistics would say otherwise.
Got the win at Watkins Glen last season. Watkins Glen proper, that is, for NASCARs. Well, I mean, we ran the boot this season. That's not the NASCAR layout, but it was a good time.
You're right. It was a good time. I think it's slowly...
it's the proper layout for some series, but not for NASCAR. But it was a good time. It was a good time.
It's becoming maybe a bit of a fan favorite of some folks, though, since it's been featured a couple of times as of late here on the channel. And it has produced some very good races.
Yes, it has. Speaking of good races, back to the battle for 5th. Gunter maybe sizing up another move here into 14. But Stearns also having to try and maneuver here. Wow, that was tight.
Gunter right on that right rear quarter of Stearns.
Stearns definitely moved down just a skosh. And it worked. Gunter's still hanging tough here.
Whoa!
I mean,
Nearly
Gunter was all sorts of out of shape there, trying not to pile into Stearns.
Nearly rattled Stearns' cage right there.
Well, Stearns doesn't usually get rattled, but physically moving him would be another story.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting at.
There you go. Pleasky and Schlosser again. Headed to the hurry downs.
And Nathan Reynolds catching back up to Schlosser and Pleasky here. Was about 0.4 of a second faster than last time around.
Yeah, he has caught them in a hurry. That gap had opened up to 3.5 seconds, and now it's under 2. So these two battling. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Reynolds is looking for. When we're getting close to the halfway mark where we think most folks will probably come to make their pit stop. I mean, if you can reel yourself back into the leaders by the time the pit cycle comes around, that is just absolutely massive.
Reynolds just had something happen to him. He lost almost a second there.
Oh, Gunter, wow, kind of got underneath Stearns there through Canada corner, but couldn't make it stick.
Gunter wearing out this back bumper of the 0-5. Going to take another peek into 14. Will third time be the charm? I think it will be. Not going to be clear, but we'll have the positioning here into 1.
Yeah, much better drive off for Gunter that time. That's what he needed. And
Stearns going to pull in behind. Are we looking for a bumper of our own here? Not this time. So Gunter now going to set his sights on Palawoda.
Good battle side by side back here between Jan Van Leer and Rodney Matney. This is also coming down to the turn one. I just heard somebody blow up.
I think it was Ryan Borboom. I'm showing that he's got a meatball flag.
Maybe left the engine running on pit road. Only has completed 3 laps, and well, it's definitely toast now.
Matt Schlosser had that truck hung out into turn number 6. It's right back up behind Andy Poliski, and lap traffic ahead. Cole Maxwell looming in front of the leaders.
And after they get through on Maxwell, they have a long ways before anybody else. That's the one good thing about having a long road course like this. If you're one of the leaders, it takes a long time to get to lap traffic.
Schlosser just had a huge run and elected not to take it. It pulled right in behind Poliski. That would have been the run. He's got another big one here. Off and nearly into the grass there, looking for a pass on the right. Poliski making a move. A defensive line into entry of Canada Corner. Maxwell going to send it off into the grass to stay out of this. Here's another good drive off. Schlosser going to be on the outside. Elects not to take it. Schlosser eating up the race leader here.
And Brody Gunter's gotten around Nathan Palawoda as well. So Gunter back on the move here.
Puts him back into the top 5, and Poliski is going to survive another lap up front.
And here comes Nathan Reynolds.
Reynolds going to make the first move to pit road from P3. Is this going to drag anybody else down? Lap 15 is up on the board this time. Top 5 all go through.
Reynolds looking to leapfrog Poliski and Schlosser on pit strategy here, but have a couple extra laps possibly later on down the road that he has to run on older tires. Rodney Matney's in as well.
So they are the first 2 pitters for non-damage this race. Looks like an uneventful stop for Nathan Reynolds. He is off and away. Now we are through turn 6. We are into Matt Schlosser's playground here. But this is about as far back as he's been the last 3 or 4 laps, at least.
Yeah, didn't get a great run. Definitely the farther back than we've seen previously. Here's a look at the car inside cam for Eric Breeding.
Oh, Nathan Palawoda went off in turn number 6 and gave spot number 5 up to Chad Stearns, but he is back and rolling. Flanky
Actually,
says, right turns, question mark?
Actually,
yes.
Stearns had gotten around Palawoda, and then Palawoda had to slam on the brakes not to run into Stearns. They're in the left-hander. Stomped on the brakes, and the truck got loose on him.
Matt Schlosser pitting from second.
Poliski is not. Very surprised by that.
So maybe
John
Schlosser
Kay,
catches him
Brody
out.
Gunter.
Kay and Gunter.
Chad Stearns, I think most are going to come in here.
Maybe it's surprising, maybe it's not, that after all that has transpired throughout the course of this race, Brody Gunter is still on for a podium, potentially. Work to be done, but very much a possibility still.
Yes, right. Turns are indeed scary. I concur. I'm going to have to do them on Sunday, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, that should be a good time. Thanks to everybody that's hanging out with us. Over 20 viewers already. It's pretty exciting stuff, especially for a road course. Love the love for the right and lefts.
I think part of that's the road course is Road America. A track that has not been, that was not on the real life circuit last season, and there was much discourse about that decision, as deservedly so. So everybody looking to get some action here around Road America. It's one of the premier road courses in the United States, absolutely far and away.
Yeah, no matter where you fall in the spectrum of loving the Chicago street course and hating the Chicago street course, everybody universally should agree that Road America deserves a place. Not only in the top series of NASCAR, but just NASCAR in general. The fact that we're not here at all in 2024 is an absolute travesty. So yeah, give love virtually to Road America here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, while we've got a little bit of airtime.
Battles outside the top 10 here. Oz Kinar has gotten out in front of Corey Rutherford. Steve Roman trying to get around Rutherford. Little stack up there. Oh, and Rutherford loose there into the braking zone. Goes wide. Roman and Matney will go through.
Andy Poliski from the lead is coming to pit road.
Jan Van Leer right here to try and capitalize as well. Rutherford has not been down pit road yet, by the way. One of the last 2 or 3 remaining here.
If Luke Peterson comes down pit road this time, he will be giving up second. If he doesn't, he'll take the lead. To point out as well, the early pit stop worked for Nathan Reynolds. He has cycled out ahead of Matt Schlosser. Schlosser closing in, but will have to pass Nathan Reynolds. So now it's a question of, is Poliski going to come out ahead of Reynolds as Peterson is coming down pit road?
Here's a shot, Poliski.
I mean, there goes Reynolds and Schlosser and John Kay. So Poliski from the lead back to 4th. And problems for Corey Rutherford. He has picked up a meatball flag. Oz Kinar is off the track now as well.
Well, that tends to happen when you run a lot of laps, or a lot of corners at least, on a set of tires. You come in for fresh ones, and you kind of forget just how touchy-feely they are when they're cold. There's always a couple of incidents there after pit stops.
So new leader for the first time tonight is Nathan Reynolds. He's yet to actually lead a lap. But still, same problem for him as it was for Andy Poliski. Matt Schlosser right behind him.
And on the late pit stop, Peterson has fallen down outside of the top 10 through the cycle.
John Kay just did a little landscaping. Loses some time to Andy Poliski. Steve Roman, I think, went wide in turn number 5 as well, but doesn't lose any positions.
Those tires starting to get warm for Poliski now. Looking to make good on the overcut rather than the under.
Into Canada corner, Schlosser again cuts it to 2 truck lengths. Up to Nathan Reynolds.
Peterson starting to reel in Matney for 10th.
And after being in the lead for the last 4 miles, lead change is officially noted for the first time tonight. Peterson, the second to last holdout. Trying to move into the top 10. Brody Gunter in P5. Purple lap.
2:14.1. Almost a 2:13.
That is ridiculous. He is going to try and make a move on Andy Poliski. Poliski shuts the door. I mean, Gunter has got some unreal pace right now. Everybody is paying attention behind. Tyler Logan just had a problem. I think he went through the grass on the inside of turn number 1. But he did not lose the position. He's still in 8th. Schlosser again, right on Reynolds.
Well, it's the same Matt Schlosser in second, trying to go for the lead. It's just a different look at the person in front of him.
He passed Nathan Reynolds for what was 3rd at the time at Watkins Glen. It ended up being for the win.
Bit of a fake look to the inside there. Trying to get Reynolds uncomfortable.
I think Reynolds is plenty uncomfortable from the sounds of it. But still leading. Oh, Reynolds wide! There goes Schlosser through to the lead. Reynolds off and into the sand trap there, out of 14. And new leader for the first time tonight, after being the bridesmaid for the last 19 laps, Matt Schlosser to the point. Now Reynolds about to have his hands full with his teammate John Kay. And Poliski already has his hands full with Bertie Gunter.
Yeah, Gunter was awfully close to Poliski down there through the last turn, but Gunter went just a tad wide trying to get the power down. And you can see Reynolds, the rear end of that truck, kicking out, sliding around all over the place right now. John Kay looking to capitalize.
Kay will have the gap here into turn number 5. Oh, and Kay a bit squirrely there. This truck is a bit snap happy, to say the least. Whose truck? Yes. All of them.
They are.
Shade now coming over Wisconsin. How does a Johnsonville brat sound about now?
Sounds pretty good when we're rolling through Speedville.
It would sound even better if Johnsonville Brats was sponsoring tonight's broadcast, but unfortunately they're not. We can fix that, though. Hit us up.
If all 20 people write to Johnsonville Brats and tell them that they should sponsor us, maybe we'll make some headway. I don't know.
Bertie Gunter going for a pass here. Oh, gonna make contact with Poliski. Wow, that nearly ended in disaster there.
Gunter trying to set up the good run, goes wide on corner entry, looking to really put it down on corner exit through the final corner, but not able to do it this time. He likes that spot, though. Those final few turns after Canada Corner, Bertie Gunter really likes to try making those moves right there in that little pocket.
Those two were battling for second at Darlington a couple of weeks ago. Both found their way into the fence. Both ended up finishing in the top 10 as well, which was a bit surprising. But they were back to battling for the lead multiple times last week at Iowa as well. So these two just can't seem to get away from one another. Bismo cheering on the race leader in the chat, Matt Schlosser, by over 2 seconds. Nathan Reynolds in second, John Kay in third, Poliski and Gunter the top 5. Chad Stearns and Nathan Paluota 6th and 7th, Tyler Logan in 8th, Steve Roman and Rodney Matney right now, the top 10. Matney is still under fire, though, from Luke Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson has been all over Matney, just not able to make a move. They've both kind of been closing in on Steve Roman here while they've been battling.
If I'm not mistaken, Matney was the second driver onto pit road with Nathan Reynolds. And Luke Peterson pit with Andy Poliski. So 2 lap fresher tires on Peterson. But that equates to 8 miles. That's a lot here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Peterson, sitting behind Matney, it may not matter any longer. I'm sure has used up a bit of tire. Riding behind somebody is generally not kind to tire saving.
Poliski did the tire into the grass, through the kink. Gunter made up a ton of time looking for a way through. Not going to find it just yet, but we'll have a look maybe into turn 13. That is Zach Lockett, and I knew that.
I had forgotten, but thank you for reminding me, Zach.
Yes, thank you, Zach. And I wish you were here as well, but you're right. Schlosser doing a bang-up job up front. Has pulled away from Reynolds by about a second this lap.
Battle between Gunter and Poliski will continue to rage on. Palawota has been on the heels of Chad Stearns here as of late as well. And Luke Peterson still working on Rodney Matney there for 10th. Gunter going to look to the inside.
Oh.
No, not this time. Trying to force Poliski into a mistake.
John Kay within a second, but Reynolds again starting to pull away from him. Still not making time up on the race leader, though.
No, but Poliski and Gunter are getting closer to John Kay.
Here's a look for Peterson. Scratch that, and he rolls out of it early. Was looking to the right of Rodney Matney into turn number 1. Still going to be within spitting distance here. Oh! Nearly caught him with a bumper.
Blosser out here still extending the lead, creeping up to about 3 seconds now.
And John Kay has backed up to Andy Poliski here, so 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Pretty much nose to tail here is Gunter. Again through the kink in the kettle bottoms, looking for the move to get him past Andy Poliski. Poliski's got plenty of defensive practice in this section of the course. May not be enough, though. There's contact.
No, it's contact.
And Gunter will go through. Poliski will lose 1 spot. But that is all.
Yeah, and you could tell Gunter was getting impatient there, was trying just about anything to throw Poliski off.
I'd say he was thrown off.
And ultimately was thrown off, yes.
I'm sure Andy's probably not very happy about that. But that puts Gunter in a position here to continue his charge forward. Laps are ticking away. 9 laps to go. The gap continues to grow up front. Schlosser trying to get away, no matter whether it's going to be Gunter, Kay, or Reynolds that are coming after him in the closing laps. He needs to open that gap way up, just to be sure.
And here's the overhead incident of the pass there Brody Gunter made on Poliski. And unfortunately for Poliski, has fallen nearly 5 seconds behind, but a big slide of those tires, I'm sure, really hurt Poliski in the long run here.
The good news for him is that he's not in jeopardy of falling out of the top 5. He's got another 10 seconds back to Chad Stearns in 6th. Meanwhile, Reynolds, Kay, and now Gunter pretty much nose to tail here through Canada Corner.
Reynolds nearly went around there. Had to make a huge save.
Oh, Gunter nearly took a swipe there. Going down nearly into the grass to try and get drive off of 14. Not going to get it this time. Still close enough to try and outbrake. Going to have to be aggressive, though. Problems for Chad Stearns. Paluoda has gotten through.
John Kay, a bit of a more defensive line into turn 1. Gunter now going to try to outbrake him. There's contact.
Gunter onto the podium. Kay not done yet. I would expect a big send here. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, Kay had a pretty good head of steam there. Certainly could have if he wanted to.
Maybe knows that Gunter has the pace. Schlosser's last line of defense is right here. Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds with a comfortable points lead, but if he lets Gunter pass, he's going to continue to eke into that advantage.
Looking at timing and scoring, Luke Peterson has finally gotten around Rodney Matney, as is Oz Kanar. Peterson up to the top 10 now.
Gap is 4.5 seconds from this battle for second up to the race leader. Schlosser trying to get away. Gunter gonna look to go deep again here into Canada Corner. Reynolds trying to keep him pinned down there on the inside. Now will be the outside for 13. Oh, Gunter flirting with the grass there. Here's John Kay now.
Oh, and some contact between Gunter and Kay. Gunter typically likes to try and go wide to swing a big run down the start-finish stretch, but not able to do it with Kay on the outside.
Second, third, and fourth, all disrupting one another in their quest to track down the race leader.
And that gap is ballooning now with these three battling. It was 3 seconds just about a lap and a half ago. Now up over 5 second gap from Schlosser back to Reynolds.
Still plenty of time for things to go wrong or to go right, depending on who you are and what you're looking for. Gunter, heat-seeking missile. He's around. Not sure if he made the contact with Reynolds or not, but it looked like it was nearly inevitable. And Gunter, for the third time this race, is off the track and back on.
Oh, and now Poliski's off.
Dominoes falling here. And I hate to count Gunter out, but that may have been the final nail in the coffin for a Gunter come-from-behind victory. Matt Schlosser with some lap traffic ahead. It's Tyler Burgert. Burgert is going to move to driver's right and out of the way of the race leader.
And, yeah, like you said, not sure if there was contact or not. If it was very minimal. Gunter pulled up to the back of Reynolds very quickly and then just slammed on the brakes to try and keep from punting Reynolds, I believe.
Yeah, it was going to be a punt. Going to be a coffin corner.
And that big lockup not going to help Brody Gunter in the tire category. But still looking to put good laps in here and get back onto the podium yet again.
Well, has 2 seconds now to catch up to John Kay. So plenty of work ahead of him. Well, might have been.
Yeah, I don't know. Schlosser's looked pretty good, even if Gunter was able to get around Reynolds. I mean, it was going to be pretty tough to get to Schlosser with only 6 laps remaining.
Well, that's the thing. Schlosser had so much work to do to get up to the podium spots at Watkins Glen that we didn't get to see him interact with Brody Gunter at all. And now the opposite happened, where Gunter fell back through the pack early, had to work his way up. Schlosser was up at the front this entire race. So we've yet to see these two truly dual banjos, if you will, here in the boonies of Wisconsin. Michael Dean just made a pass on Austin Holyfield to get up to 17th. Haven't spent much time outside of the top 10 here tonight. That's because the battling in the top 10 has been pretty good all night long. First outing here at Road America, big success.
Yeah, certainly no disappointment there. Do want to highlight Eric Breeding once again for running a car inside camera with us here tonight. And that lovely Kyle Zittel Quick Trip number 26 machine. What a beautiful sight it's been here tonight.
Something tells me that's going to go deep in the paint scheme bracket at the end of the season. Just a guess.
I would venture to say that's a good bet.
Yeah, it's a tough break there for Corey. Done for the night.
And a look up to Luke Peterson, who took him a long time to get around Matney, but finally got it accomplished, got himself into the top 10, and has sat in 10th place for quite a while now. But pretty good gap up to Steve Roman. Peterson looking to hang on here. All right, Tommy. Battle is back on. Gunter has regrouped. And
we get it again?
He's going to have a go at John Kay one more time here.
Yeehaw. What could happen this time? It'll be again into turn number 5. Gunter likes to outbrake. And, I mean, closes a 3-truck length gap right up to the bumper of John Kay.
I would imagine in the last few laps, John Kay not going to be quite as kind, trying to get around him. It's not going to be as easy. Not that it was easy the first time, but he'll make it extra difficult here in the last few laps.
It's not easy to pass John Kay if you're battling for 17th. Well, that's not the John Kay we've gotten lately. After a tough opening stretch to this season, John Kay has been clicking off the podiums left and right here in the back half and wants another one. These two not going to make it easy on each other, though. That's the guarantee. As we barrel towards Canada Corner, something is going to happen.
And this has been Gunter's proving grounds down here in the back quarter of the lap.
Kay looked a bit uneasy on braking there. Gunter hard on the power.
I mean, they've got 40-plus miles on these
And-
trucks.
Oh!
Oh, wow!
A zig into a zag there. Gunter gets the big run off. We are over the 1 hour mark since the drop of the green in this race. Pretty long for Venom Truck Series road course race. Gunter makes the pass. Gunter back onto the podium.
Kay thought about trying to send it there into turn one, was not close enough.
Schlosser starting to drive a bit conservatively. Reynolds inching his way forward, but has a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, that gap another second higher than it was 2 or 3 laps to go. Now up over 6 seconds.
It has been coming down 10th by 10th. This is the part of the track where Schlosser shines. And that is a tongue twister.
And at this point, everybody's gotten pretty spread out.
I think Ellison and Zittel were close together, but they're not close anymore.
Yeah, I think Zittel may have had a bit of a problem somewhere here. He's fallen well behind Ellison.
All of a sudden, Nathan Reynolds, I think, just had a problem because Brody Gunter is right here, and that gap was 2.5 seconds.
Well, yeah, the gap up to Schlosser, 9 seconds now, so certainly something happened to Reynolds.
Reynolds going to make his move out to the right. Gunter going to pull in behind and try and open that bottom back up. Oh, Gunter again, nearly out into the grass, looking for real estate. And John Kay comes flying in like a bat out of hell. Three laps to go. Schlosser the leader, commanding lead. After spending the entire first pit cycle in second place. Finally got the lead from Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds has been fighting tooth and nail to hold on to this second position. Bit wide there through turn 2. It'll open the door for Brody Gunter as they head down into turn number 5.
Yeah, Gunter will be on the outside, though, not the prime real estate down here.
Reynolds going to let him go. And finally, Gunter up to second. Two and a half laps and nearly 10 seconds to overcome. See if Dunter? How about Gunter can make a dent in this gap?
Now Reynolds has to worry about John Kay as well. Reynolds might get off the podium here after that mistake.
Problems for Garrett Rainey. He has picked up a meatball flag. Here goes John Kay for third. Kay gonna lock him up.
Oh, no.
Tokyo Drift.
He certainly went for it. Felt like that was the best opportunity he had, but... I mean, pretty old tires at this point around Road America, and Kay pays the price and is going to settle into fourth. Should also mention Andy Poliski has fallen down to 7. We missed that amidst all of the battles here in the top 4.
Yeah, had a 10-second gap back to Stearns and Palomoda there, and it evaporated. 2 laps to go. Matt Schlosser. Gunter was 0.7 of a second quicker last time around, even with having to make the pass.
And I gotta believe Schlosser is certainly nursing the lead a bit here. Knows he has a massive gap back to Gunter and wanting to make no mistakes.
It doesn't matter what the gap is at the end of the race as long as it says 1 next to your name.
And have to work through a bit of traffic there. That's Brantley Gainey.
Luke Peterson has gotten past Steve Roman to move up to 9th. Oz Kanar looking to do the same to move himself into the top 10.
Tell you what, Peterson has had to work hard for that 9th place finish.
Yes.
Zach wants us to send his regards along to Mr. Schlosser at the end of the race. We certainly will. Coming up to officially take 1 lap to go.
4 miles and change for Matt Schlosser to put it away. Brody Gunter is doing his best. And you never know what can happen here in the 14 turns around Road America. Gunter trying to give himself the best shot possible. But Matt Schlosser trying to put it away.
Closest battle remains that between Peterson, Vroman, and Oz Kanar. Oh, wow. Kanar, pretty good slide there through Canada. I don't want to jinx anything here.
Oh, God. Why? Yes.
It's always amazing to me how we have unbelievably intense battles for 3 or 4 positions for nearly the entire race, and all of a sudden, one person gets through and everybody just dissipates. It's like it never happened.
Could have waited 2 miles to say that. Well, here we go. Through the kink. Kettle Bottom's next on the menu. That'll be a trip through Canada corner after that. Matt Schlosser. Gunter has closed in by about half a second this lap, but still 7.5 seconds to make up into the final 3 turns of the circuit. In career start number 2 earlier this season, Matt Schlosser won at the boot layout of Watkins Glen. He's headed up the hill in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin to claim career victory number 2. Matt Schlosser is back to victory lane with the Venom Truck Series. John Kay went full send there through turn 14. He'll still come away with 4th. Gunter and Reynolds on the podium. Still got about 2 minutes here before our results could be official. Still plenty happening out on the track, though. Oz Kanar going to try and make a move on Steve Roman. Sends it a bit wide there in Canada corner. That'll be all she wrote for Kanar to try and get in the top 10. And I think Schlosser has already been to the truck.
must have done it down there in turn 1, huh? Jan Van Leer tried to get to Matney here at the very end of the race as well. Not quite able to get it done.
The race winner back up and rolling. Not using any of the pavement now. Off into the grass. And I was going to say, if he doesn't slow down now, it's about to hurt.
There he goes. Oh, and he's off.
Oh, and that definitely hurt, whoever that was.
Here's the post-race victory off for Schlosser. Donuts in the grass right after the start-finish.
What an eventful night of racing here, all through the field at Road America. Could not have asked for a better race here for the inaugural outing. A couple of drivers actually did ask for better nights. And if this appears in the season's future, hopefully they'll get that better finish. Garani is going 65 miles an hour. He's the last one to cross the line. He's preventing us from getting the full finishing run down. There we go. Okay. All right, let's hit that full finishing rundown then. Schlosser with the win, Gunter in second, Reynolds in third. Hopefully we'll talk to all three of these drivers momentarily. John Kay in fourth, Nathan Palawoda P5. It's Chad Stearns in sixth, Andy Poliski in seventh, Tyler Logan in eighth, Luke Peterson and Steve Roman are your top 10 finishers. Oz Kadar in 11th. Good comeback effort here tonight for Rodney Matney, P12 in his return. Jan Van Leer in 13th, Eric Breeding in 14th, and Paul Ellison rounds out your top 15. Kyle Zittel back at P16, Michael Dean in 17th, Pascal Savard in 18th. Austin Holyfield finishes in 19th, the last driver on the lead lap. One down in 20th is Brantley Gainey, Tyler Bergert in 21st, Garrett Rainey in 22nd, Cole Maxwell, Corey Rutherford with a DNF, and Ryan Borboom with a DNF as well in 25th. We will talk to the podium finishers. Up first is your P3 finisher. I would imagine probably in a bit of discomfort. Nathan Reynolds, though, going to walk away with the bronze out of Road America tonight. Congrats on the podium.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was a good night for us. Exactly what we needed to happen, and it worked out.
Some offense, some defense, some pit strategy. How was it overall for you? What did you set out to accomplish tonight, and what did you accomplish?
Honestly, I set out expecting to lose about 7 or 8 points on our points lead to Brody, and so anything less than that was a positive, and only lose one is a win. Tonight was all about big picture. It's not one of my best tracks. It's a track I've never been on, and I'm not the best road racer, so it was about just limiting mistakes. We definitely made our fair share of mistakes tonight, got a little greedy at times. It probably cost ourselves our position there late in the going, but just limiting those mistakes and played a little strategy there to get a lap lead. I really didn't expect to hold on to the lead as long as I did even, but I knew that they were going to get me with short pitting like that, but I just wanted that extra bonus point to lead a lap, and we were able to do that. And like I say, only lose 1 point, so it's honestly a perfect night for us.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, to get to the perfect night, it took a lot of imperfect driving from everybody on the track. Just how difficult was it out there? We saw the rear end of the truck sliding all over the place for everybody.
Yeah, the truck really stood up on its toes. It was hard to it was really hard to drive. It really used a lot of the left rear, similar to how Mosport was. It is the Mosport setup, so it's kind of equivalent to that. And then a little bit of a flatter track, not as much banking as what Mosport has. It seems like the truck was really off camber tonight in certain corners, and seen a lot of wheel hop and things. It was very slick, and I think it showed with as many of the guys that went off track and spun, just eliminating myself from that equation. I looked around and seen a lot of other guys who are really good drivers and excellent road racers that went off track and had a lot of issues. So that should tell you something.
Well, shout outs for you here tonight.
I want to thank all my usual sponsors, Nitro and NASCAR Report. But honestly, I just today has been one of those days. My wife had a pretty bad accident earlier, a car crash, and I just want to thank God that she's okay and she walked away from it unscathed, and she's perfectly fine. And the car, on the other hand, is not. But that's something that's replaceable. So just thank God for keeping His hedge of protection upon her today and watching over her through that, and still have her here with me that I can go hug after this race is over with.
Well, you got to do that, partner. Great to hear that she's okay, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
And I'm sure a disappointed P2 finisher here tonight. Brody Gunter going to take the silver here at Road America. Well, congratulations on the podium, but I would imagine probably a bit of disappointment with how things unfolded tonight.
I have no words for myself. I'm very disappointed in myself how bad that was. I felt like I think I went off track 3 times. I mean, I'm sure this race is going to look very different on paper than it did prior to you guys, because on paper it's probably like I got pole and finished second. Really, it was a whole another thing.
But on the flip side of that, with what was, in all appearances, a difficult setup here tonight at Road America, everybody was having problems with it. I mean, it takes some sort of wheelman to do that multiple times, and yet to still find your way back up to second place. I mean, an incredible pace here throughout the night.
Yeah, it'd been nice to see where I could have finished if I didn't do all that stuff. But yeah, I kind of liked the setup. I think the only thing I was having issues with was the wheel hop was just crazy for me, especially in the turn 1. I just couldn't get down the second gear without the engine stuttering.
Matt, what do you got for a second place finisher?
Well, congrats on the P2. Still a heck of a drive, like Tommy said, to get back to second place. Obviously, after a couple of off tracks down there in turn 1, got to be pretty frustrated with yourself, and then, having to get around traffic here and make passes proved to be very difficult. How frustrating was it trying to ride behind, having to ride behind somebody for quite a while just to set up a pass there?
Definitely a little aggravating. It's hard on road courses because, yeah, it's at the exit, you lose so much time because you can't get on the gas and just run them over. But, it was, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It was, I think I passed everyone but that finished in the top 10 but Matt at some point in the race. I think John, he probably passed him 3 or 4 times. So it was funny catching him over and over again, seeing how I had to do it differently every time because he was learning what I was doing to pass him. So that was definitely a very challenging thing to figure out.
Well, congrats regardless on the podium. Shout-outs for you as usual.
Work in Progress Racing, Mullet Music Productions, DGR Graphics, and Turn 200.
Well, it's a pretty long streak of podiums here for you as well. So keep your head held high. We'll talk to you again hopefully next week in Las Vegas.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow in Nashville Super Speedway as well. Yes.
Let's hope for both of those, May, if I can just start wrecking.
There you go. We'll string 2 in a row together for you. But congrats to the podium.
Thank you, guys.
Now, for the second time this season, it is time to talk to your race winner here in the Venom Truck Series. Welcome back to Booth 200, Matt Schlosser, and welcome back as a race winner once again on the left and rights here. Great job here tonight.
Hey, thanks, Tommy. I appreciate it. Happy to be talking to you guys again.
It feels like it's been a minute, but an impressive drive here tonight. We had last night. You were watching. You were in the chat with the Super Formulas. The guy that was riding around in second place for most of the race, about the 3/4 mark, finally found his way around and never looked back. And we got a second helping of that here tonight. Matt sort of was asking Brody about how frustrating it was to ride and try and pick your spots, and I think there's no better driver to ask than you. It's not from a lack of trying. It took you a while to find your way up to P1.
Yeah, I mean, I was being careful because I have made plenty of mistakes going for passes, just pushing that extra bit. So I was like, when I was behind Andy, I was like, all right, he's he's quick. I'm just gonna stick with him. Like if he makes a mistake, I'll go by. But like unless it's a high percentage chance, I'm gonna, be patient. Like there's nothing really to gain trying to like chuck it into a turn and try to pull something off that I wasn't 100% on. So just had to be patient. And later on with Nathan, it was kind of the same thing. And those guys were so good and so smooth. It kind of helped me to just be able to mirror them a little bit and build on my rhythm and just kind of wait until I had a chance to get by.
Seemed like you were really strong from turn 6 to turn 12. Is there anything different about that section of the course, or was that just more circumstance that it seemed like you always closed the gap up in that section?
12 is 12 the carousel?
12 is the Canada corner. The carousel's right in the middle of those corners, though.
Carousel's 10, and the kink is 11. Yeah. I noticed that too. Like those guys would pull away from me pretty much everywhere else, and then I would gain a little bit in 6 through 12, like you said. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I must have just kind of like had a decent rhythm and managed to not screw any of the turns up.
That's all right. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. We'll take the speed and not ask any questions. Matt, what do you got for that? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I'm not going to analyze it. I'm just going to let it be.
Sometimes that's the right course of action.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats, Matt, on another race win. Zach Lockett would like to send his regards to you as well via the chat. And how do you feel about the nickname of the Road Course Ringer at this point? A couple of road course wins this season in your inaugural season. Got to feel good.
First off, thanks, Zach. Saying hi to him as well. I don't know. I think I got to run in this series a little longer before I earn any more nicknames. I don't know. I just that's super nice to say, but look, I think there's some guys that were faster than me today, and like I talked to Brody, he had a couple offs, and Nathan Reynolds said he didn't turn his fan on, which is super hot, and I know how that is. Like I've forgotten to turn my fan on and had my glasses fog up and flying off the track before. So like I guess to answer your question, maybe I should try to win a few more before any nicknames are settled on.
Well, at least they're good nicknames. I can't repeat some of the nicknames that I've gotten in some of our leagues. Let's get some shout outs for you here from the top step once again.
Yeah. So shout out to my teammate Zach. Shout out to my sponsor, Old Mother Brewing Company. They're not really my sponsor, but they let me put their logo on the car and didn't tell me to take it off, so I'll take it. And yeah, thanks to you guys at Turn 200 for all the broadcasts you do, obviously. Thanks to the Venom admin team. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you, as always, for running in a lot of our and bringing us quality entertainment all the time. And good to get you back up here in booth 200. Let's plan on doing it again either tomorrow at Nashville or maybe Sunday at Charlotte Roval or next week at Las Vegas. What do you say?
Heck yeah. I'll be there tomorrow at Nashville. If I'm not talking to you on the podium, I'll probably be up in the catch fence or in the parking lot going out of the track. But either way, it'll be a good time.
All righty, man. Go party hard. We'll talk to you again here soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Chat was popping here tonight again, Matt. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us. But who was hanging out with us?
Yeah, a bunch of folks. Really good crowd tonight. Shout out to everybody that was watching, not just chatting with us, but special shout out to those that were chatting. Stickers McQueen, Rebecca Mrs. Loda, Chad Stearns hopped in the chat here as well. Said he's glad that one's over, but it was a good race. Put up a real good fight there to finish in sixth. Zach Lockett, Corey Rutherford, Jeremy McKinnon, Flinky Roberts, Lindsey G, and I think that was it. Shout out to all the people that were chatting with us and anybody else that was watching. And I hate to say it, but I think all the folks running tomorrow they might just have to fight for second. Because yours truly is looking to take the race win.
Well, that's exciting news, and if you don't know what he's talking about, Matt Williamson is making his points-paying Daredevil Series debut tomorrow night at Nashville Super Speedway. So be here for TDS action with the Lotus 79 around Nashville Super Speedway tomorrow night, right around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern is when the stream is going to start. Then we don't have any action until Saturday night. It is the Porsche Mission R Clash at the Coliseum, running the electric car, PMR, at the Clash at the Coliseum with a heat racing format and all that jazz. So electric car racing special event Saturday night. It'll be the Mission R Challenge proper on Sunday afternoon, as it always is. Not from Long Beach, like I said last night, in a fugue state apparently, but the Charlotte Roval, and the long version of the Charlotte Roval at that. A couple of extra turns in the mix there just to make things a little bit more spicy for your Roval racing action on Sunday afternoon. Monday, for the Formula Super Series, we are at Long Beach, and I'm not wrong about that one. We're actually at Long Beach on Monday night. And then back here next Tuesday at Las Vegas for the Venom Truck Series for round number 13 of 16. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here in season number 7. To be sure you're here on time for all the great racing action we have throughout the week. And next Tuesday for the Venom Truck Series, be sure to hit subscribe on your way out of the stream here tonight. If you're not subscribed already, hit like on the stream as well. And we thank you very much for coming to hang out with us and spend some time with us here on a Tuesday. That's all we got for you here tonight. For everybody with the Venom Truck Series, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I am Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say on Wisconsin from Road America, where Matt Schlosser takes victory number 2 of the season. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.